How's shelter and home going?
Well, I mean, I saw something online today with somebody that I really respect who said, if I hear one more person say, I'm so bored, I'm going to lose it. I'm not going to be dumb enough to say that. You know, everybody right now with all that's going on in the world and in this country and, healthcare workers being on the front line, we should all be so lucky to be quote unquote bored. I've got twin 2-year-old boys. My daughters, who one lives in New York, one lives in LA. Both are back in St. Louis. So if there is a small silver lining to any of this is we've all been together probably more now than we've been in a long time. A lot of family dinners, a lot of my boys and their sisters interacting. I mean, that stuff's all been amazing. It's just, such a frightening time in our world that, it's hard to take delight really in anything right now.
With coronavirus, your just general reaction to everything going on, and it can be completely unrelated to sport even.
It's testing every bit of my mental capacity because I understand why we are all where we are to try and slow down the spread of this virus. But at some point, we're all going to emerge from these homes. And social distancing is going to be a thing of the past. And then unless I'm crazy, I feel like it's going to ramp back up again, and then it'll kind of die back down, and it'll ramp back up. I think there will be more than one wave of this. And the question I have is, can that second wave somehow be pushed back to a time when there's some sort of an antidote to this or a vaccine? I don't know. If you want to relate it to sports, I mean, on one hand, it makes you realize how insignificant sports are and sports results and people living and dying with their team's fortunes. No, people are living and dying with this virus. On the other hand, it reminds, I think, everybody, not everybody's a sports fan, but sports are a huge part of American life. And so while I would typically be off this time of the season anyway, I just miss it as a fan, being able to plop down on the couch or having something on in the background. It's very soothing. Along those lines, I think we will get back this year, this summer, later in the summer, but I fully expect that it will be with empty stadiums, at least at the beginning, and we will see these events take place with nobody in the stands. But, man, when that first crack of the bat or that first goal or that first made basket or whatever it is going to really, I think, be a welcome sound, a great relief, and it'll let us all know that we're kind of back on the road to normalcy.
Your dad, the legendary broadcaster, Jack, read that powerful poem after, 9/11. And to what extent do you think sports will similarly serve as kind of a unifying force when they get back this go around?
Yeah, I think back to that, and man, again, not everybody's a baseball fan, but it's known as the American pastime, and I think that's what it was more than anything. That people came back in, and it was like, it just feels good to be back here watching these guys play baseball, and so it served a real role that year in the baseball postseason. And the President Bush took politics straight out of it. But when he walked out there as president of the United States, love him, hate him, whatever, and he fired a strike from the pitching rubber, there was a feeling of strength behind that. And it's one of the biggest moments I've ever witnessed firsthand. And then the World Series on top of that was a 7-game crazy great World Series. So sports can, while it's dismissed by a lot, I think really serve a role going forward when life kind of returns to somewhat normal.
How do you see it impacting the NFL?
I don't know. I mean, they seem like they want to come out and say, we're going to do it. We're going to plow ahead. We're going to have our draft. We're going to start the season on time. We're going to start the season on time with fans. I just don't know how you can make any proclamations at this point. I feel like, if you believe the medical experts, that we are on the beginning initial part of this really heavy hit wave coming, and who knows what the fallout is after that. But at some point, this will be behind us. At some point, it'll get back to normal. I just don't know how all of this looks coming up into the late summer, early fall of 2020.